Hello, my dear students. Good morning. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss the chapter The Living World. Chapter name is The Living World. Okay. So, my dear students, you may ask the question, that, sir, what is the living world? You may ask this question to me, or you may raise this question in your mind that, sir, what is the living world? What is the living world? What is the living world? My dear students, over this planet you will find the two type of things. One is the non-living objects around you, like you will find the marker, wood, pen, and etc. And parallelly, you will see that there are several types of the living organisms you can see with the naked eye, like plants, animals, fungi, and there are also several other organisms which cannot be seen with the naked eye because they are very tiny in size, they are microscopic in size, so they cannot be seen with the naked eye. So all the living organisms which are present over this planet, all the living organisms, all the living organisms which are present over this planet, which are present over this planet, form the living world. All the living organisms which are present over this planet collectively form the living world. Okay? So, living world is the collection of all the living organisms which are present over this planet. And my dear students, after that you may ask the second question, sir, what are the living organisms? What are living organisms? As I told you that all the living organisms collectively form the living world. So you may ask this question that, sir, what are the living organisms and how are they different from the non-living object? Because in our surrounding we are seeing two type of things, living organism and the non-living objects. Okay. So my dear students, for defining the living organism, there is the requirement of the certain characteristics on the basis of which you can differentiate between the living organism and the non-living object. And parallelly, on the basis of certain characteristics, you can define the living organism. So here we are going to discuss about those characteristics which are present in the living organism. And after that, we will discuss those characteristics parallelly. So characteristics of living organism are characteristics of living organisms are number one, growth, number two, reproduction, number three, metabolism, and number four, cellular organization, number five, you will find the consciousness, number six, the self regulation or homeostasis, and number seven, self organize or the maintenance of body organization, maintenance of the body organization, and simultaneously you will find the evolution and you will find the interaction and emergence of new properties, interaction and emergence of new properties, and the next is the sharing of common genetic material, sharing of common genetic material up to varying degree. My dear students, these are the certain characteristics we will study about the living organism, and during the study of these characteristics, we will explain that how the living organism are different from the non-living object. And out of these characteristics, which characteristics are the defining features of the living organism? Okay. So first of all, I am going to tell you that these characteristics are present in the living organism. Okay. And out of these characteristics, which characteristic will be the defining feature? So for the defining feature, any characteristic must fulfill the two conditions. These are the several characteristics of the living organism. But which characteristic will be the defining feature? That characteristics must fulfill these two conditions. Number one condition is that characteristic must be present in all living organisms. That characteristic must be present in all living organism without exception. All living organisms without any exception. And second, that characteristic must not present, that characteristic must not present in any non-living object. In any non-living object. In any non-living object. My dear student, you must write these two conditions because when we will study about these characteristics, then which character will be the defining feature or which will not be, then there will be the requirement of these two conditions. Okay. So in this lecture, what I told you, my dear students, that what is living world? I told you that all the living organisms which are present over this planet collectively form the living world. And after that, you raised the question, sir, what are the living organisms? And I told you that living organisms are those organisms which have these certain characteristics. Like the living organism has growth, they reproduce, they have metabolism in their body cells, they have cellular organization, their body is made up of cells, they have consciousness, they can regulate their body activities, they can organize their body organization or they can maintain their body organization by repair, regeneration, and healing. And living organisms show evolution. And you know that there is the interaction of the several component of the living organism body, like when cell interact and form the tissue. And there is the emergence of new properties in the tissues. When tissues interact and form organ, and there is the emergence of new properties in the organ. We will discuss in detail about this and sharing of common genetic material up to varying degree. You know that during the reproduction, living organisms transmit or they share their genetic material with their progeny or their offspring. Okay, so in the next lecture, my dear students, we will study all these characteristics one by one, and we will find how these characteristics make living organism living and how these characteristics are not present in the non-living object, and which characteristic is the defining feature and which is not. Okay, thank you so much, my dear students.